As a conference speaker, I get the opportunity to watch many other speakers, and most of my colleagues are inspiring, practical, and just amazing. Some speakers, however, are, shall we say, unprepared for the stage, and that's a totally different video for a totally different day. Some speakers, however, are incredibly well polished, organized, and deliver well, except they don't actually make an impact. That's right, they give you a speech, but it isn't lasting. It isn't impactful. This is because they fail to have one key element that is the difference between competent speakers and exceptional speakers, and that is authenticity. Now, before I move on, I want to address this head on by saying that this is a component of speaking that I struggle with a lot. My background is in performance studies and speech communication. As I was trained in those fields, polish and perfection were the ultimate goals, and you had to remove any barriers you had to anything that would disrupt the message being delivered. But at the expense of that polish and perfection came a lack of authenticity. And if I'm not careful, I can very quickly slip back into performance Erik, which doesn't impact anyone. So I have to ask myself 3 questions when I'm developing a talk to make sure that I'm staying authentic. And these are the questions that you get to ask yourself. Number 1, do I tell a personal story? I get it. Personal stories are terrifying to tell, especially when the story is not flattering. However, if you don't tell a personal story somewhere in your talk, you're just delivering information. You're not giving your audience an experience. Audiences can go anywhere for information. Actually, audiences don't have to go anywhere for information. They can get it at any time, at any place. Speaking is no longer about a transfer of information. It's about connection. And the best way to get connected with your audience is through a story. Number 2, am I more inspiring than social media? One of the reasons why it's so important to share your story is because it is your story. It isn't someone else's. It isn't someone else's experience. It isn't someone else's words. It isn't somebody else's examples. Too often I see speakers give generalized motivation for their audiences with quips like, never give up. Be who you are. Be resilient in challenging times. I mean, yeah, those are good messages, but those are messages that I can get from just 5 minutes of scrolling on social media. Keep this distinction in mind. Social media tells. You as a speaker show. Now, it's not bad to have a speech focused on never giving up, but show us how. Show us why. Show us when. And how did you give up or not give up? Here's the deal. If your message can be delivered in a quick social media post, do it there. If it requires more storytelling and yes, authenticity, that's when it should come from the stage. Finally, number 3, can anyone else give this speech? Let's say I'm on my way to a speaking engagement and I get trapped by dragons or dinosaurs or a box full of cute kittens. I don't know. Thankfully, I've given a copy of my script to the event planner, so someone else is going to read it. Now, could they be equally effective if they read it? In other words, if anyone could give the speech, that means if you are playing it too safe and speaking in too broad of generalities to be unique and authentic, then that message is not going to land. In theory, no one should ever be able to deliver your speech, not like you can. And again, I get it. I get that showing who you really are is very vulnerable. But it is that vulnerability that leads to trust, trust that leads to connection, and connection that leads to impact. And again, I'm always continuing to work on this. So I'd love to hear from you. What questions or strategies do you have to remain authentic from the stage? Drop those in the comments, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep coming off mute and speak up your story.